Well, hello. I just thought I would do a little quick video on the concepts of forgiveness, compassion, being gentle with our opponents, and not trying to crush people, not trying to annihilate or obliterate their egos or their, little webs of programming they're still clinging to. And how I'm not good at any of that. So there's that. I know. Some people come in with a velvet glove. I come in with the hammer. So I feel some bit of a sense of urgency, not because of the eclipse, though I'm sure there's some fuckery around that. So much hype. But I do want to say, I want you to do some critical thinking and pull out of the Facebook sphere for a moment, or the YouTube sphere, and go into just a place where, logic and reason are no better than emotion or reaction. They're just different vibrations on the spectrum of human experience. And if we are looking at good and evil, if we are looking at people who are trying to wake up the comatose from the matrix, which means not understanding that the elites are a satanic pedivore cult. And what does that mean? It means they sodomize and cannibalize children in ritual for fame and money and visibility. And you can go through the whole, it's not all of them. And just because they partied together doesn't mean they ritualed together. And actually, that is exactly what it means. And you'll get there. Birds of a feather do flock together. And nobody gets mega famous or mega wealthy without doing mega sin, mega crimes, and mega evil. That's just how it works. So if we work from that premise, we understand that, there's a Freemason blueprint that is fighting right now for the NWO, New World Order agendas. And the secret of secret societies is Luciferianism and Satanism. And there's a lot of tenets of that I've read extensively on both sides, on the esoteric materials, the occult materials, the spiritual materials, biblical stuff. So admittedly, I'm a hodgepodge of things. So I just want to put that disclaimer out there. This is my protection candle with my Psalm 23, with my crystal, with my black salt and sand. And so you can call me double-minded or lukewarm, but I'm here doing this, talking to you. So, or a Jezebel or whatever else, turf. It's a new one. Oh, so many slurs for the divine feminine. And just calling someone a radical feminist, it's like become a dirty thing. It's dirty, shameful, it's terrible. But I call it all feminism now, because most of the people selling you that are men or hermaphrodites or whatever we call it, intersex. They were not born female. So they want election of those of us who actually have a womb, who've bled for 30 years. People who've given birth to children, given life on this planet. We are, and always seem to have been, the second-class citizens of planet Earth. So that has to change. When they say the future is female, it doesn't mean just putting on implants or, changing your gender, which is impossible biologically, but certainly possible ideologically. So that's where I stand on that. And anyway, so there's programs within programs within programs. And we want to understand that the people who were preaching to us, I'm going to say I grew up Catholic, so I'll say the people preaching to me were the very people harming children and talking then very, very insincere and warm and gentle tones about compassion and forgiveness and turning the other cheek. Meanwhile, they were spreading little boy cheeks. Just going to say that, and I'm going to be very vulgar about it, because they sodomize children with crucifixes. So I'm going to talk about it. They do it. I call it out. I get in trouble for calling it out. They don't get in trouble for doing it. I want that to sink in, of why when you see me angry or raging or calling out people, that's a vast unfairness and a major injustice, that here I am sitting on this awareness that I'm waiting for 3/4 of the world or more to wake up to. And it's frustrating and it's exhausting, and you can't, sometimes get the screams of those kids out of your head. And no amount of therapy and no amount of swimming or walking or talking on the phone with friends makes it go away. So there is a river of rage and lava in my psyche, and a desire for justice that transcends anybody's ego or anybody's feelings or anybody's terminology, ideology, or bullshit. So I do come at this a lot more on the warrior stance than the peacemaker stance. I do come at this on the I am probably here more to break down the old, and younger people in their 30s are here to build the new. But I'm doing my part. I'm doing my role, which is to call out the bullshit wherever I see it, whenever I see it, in myself or others. My bullshit is I fell for their bullshit. That's my biggest bullshit, is I wanted to believe, and I put my power outside me, and we all do it. Just got into it with someone about, fucking Eckhart Tolle. Anybody who's 1 degree away from Oprah is not good, okay? And, he may have been the popular flavor of the moment, but she is pushing people forward, and in my opinion, can't prove it, but someone could somewhere if they cared to try. The bestsellers are how she launders her human trafficking money. Okay, so that's not an accusation, that's an opinion, that's conjecture, that's speculation on my part. And it's connecting dots from being targeted by these satanic factions for 7 years straight and understanding how they operate, what they do. I anticipate their moves. They don't really have any new moves. They have a lot of old recycled bullshit moves that they pull. They have a playbook, and it's very dark. And when you know it, you understand the inversions, the perversions, you understand the hand gestures and the lingo and the psyops within psyops within psyops. And then someone will come along, well-meaning, good-hearted, talking about discernment, or not being in our ego, or not being in our narcissistic wounding, not being in our trauma. Okay, yep, great TikTok lingo, I gotcha. All big pharma mafia, all manufactured. Again, I will just use the term Freemason as a blanket term, because everything, wars, viruses, the entertainment industry, politics, religion, science, all falls under the Freemason, purview, if you will. And you can go see the pinned post on my page on Facebook if you want to see, their reach and their false power, because we know it's satanic, so it's not real. And they have to hurt children to summon demons, or whatever the hell the Luciferian belief system is. It's certainly not mine. Mine is much more Christ consciousness and of true light, not false light. So am I perfect? No. Have I sinned? Yes. Am I problematic? Oh, fuck yes, especially to them. Because I don't believe that us preaching forgiveness, compassion, turning the other cheek, be nice, be kind, be good, be obedient, is helpful in a battle for your soul. I just don't. I think it's, I love the idea of the meek inheriting the earth. When's that going to happen? Exactly. I'll pencil it in, because I've been meek my whole life. I have been humble, and it's gotten me fucking nowhere. It's gotten me tormented and targeted and attacked. So I am a full spectrum human. I have role modeled the journey of what it means to be on the mental wellness roller coaster of being a human, right? And I don't put on airs, and I don't need alphabet soup behind my name to feel like I am now somewhat of an expert in this field. From the thousands of people I've counseled who've been hurt as children, and 90% of the time there's a Freemason link. That's one human woman in one little corner of the world who in the last 3 to 5 years has seen hundreds to 1,000 or more people with a backstory where they were harmed. And you know what they were being preached to and why they were staying silent? Forgive, have compassion, heal. It's your responsibility to fix your trauma. You're an adult now, and nobody told them how. And nobody showed them that they had to go through rage, volcanic, sulfuric, even demonic rage at the injustice that had been done to them by demons posing as humans, And when I say demonic rage, I don't mean we sink to their level and we, fight fire with fire, because then nothing gets better. And it's all programming, you guys. It's benefiting the perpetrators and villainizing the victims and telling them to suck it up, buttercup, before they even get heard, before you even delve into their story or what made them that way. I don't want to know it's negative. I just want to stay positive. I don't want to be stuck in all that muck. Great. Then how do we change the problem? How do we solve the problem? what you might call anger, I might call passion. I might call conviction. And you might be in more stoic mindset of, well, if someone can anger you, they can rule you. Absolutely not. The opposite. If they can numb you, they rule you. If they can make you detached and checked out and not feeling anything and not being upset or even outraged at the thought that they harm children for trinkets, for baubles, for trophies, for yachts, for mansions, for award shows with sequins. They harm children. And it isn't going to get better or go away if we don't fucking deal with that fucking core fact that has to be brought to the light and it has to be dealt with. And you can't bypass people or prematurely rush them to forgiveness if they don't even know what that word means. They only know rage and hatred because that's all they've ever been shown. So it is really unforgiving and uncompassionate to do that. Now you are a secondary perp. You're a traumatizer. You're not a healer. You're not a helper. You're not sharing wisdom or philosophical musings or your opinion or your experience. You are being passive aggressive and abusing the already abused and kicking when they're down. And that ain't good, sister. That ain't good, honey. And it isn't directed towards one person, though one person triggered it for me today. It's an attitude. It's a mindset. I've encountered it over and over and over again. And I want to shake people and I want to go, you get that they hurt children though, right? Like you get that that's what they do. And it is all of them. And it is all of them. So if you can't get that basic concept, how are you going to help? How will you be part of the solution if you can't even admit there is a problem? And it's not my anger. Peace out.